off, we'll start off with an opening statement from Coach Jones talking about how camp's been going so far. Coach Jones.
Great to see you guys. Camp has been going well. It's been hot. That's probably the first thing I can tell you guys. But camp has been going extremely well for us. A lot of the guys are obviously back for another season. We have done a really good job in the summer weight room program with Coach Franklin and his staff. You see our guys a little bit bigger. You see our guys a little bit faster, more explosive. And we're very excited about the upcoming weeks to come to the opening kickoff.
All right, Frank, and then Evan.
Hey, Coach, nice to meet you. How's it going?
Hey, Frank, how are you?
I'm doing well. Now, I know the running back position can be physically demanding over the course of a long year. You guys got multiple guys to choose from. I guess, what's the benefit of that for you guys in terms of knowing you can keep your guys fresh with the number of guys you've got?
Yeah, well, I think you hit on the head, Frank. With that being said, one of my biggest jobs and tasks is to always keep guys fresh. And if you really look at over the last 4 years, we really haven't had a lot of soft tissue injuries. We had Patrick Taylor get hurt, I think his senior year with the broken fibula or whatnot, and then he came back. But for the most part, all of our guys have been pretty much healthy. That's because we do use a quality of backs. We do use a good number of rotation. But obviously now we do want that one guy to kind of step up to the plate and kind of be that home run guy for us. So anytime you have that, those guys, they feed off each other. Those guys complement each other well. So we're very excited to see what this year will bring for us.
And are you at a point where you can say, this guy is my guy for third and short, or this is the guy that I want to use in the passing game, or is it still up in the air about that?
Still up in the air, almost. We're almost to that point. All of these guys have different qualities and different traits. I think all of them have improved throughout last season, and then going back to the off season in spring, and then obviously now in fall camp. But you do have bigger backs. You have bigger backs like a Weaver. You have a Drake Clark who's back. You have an Asa Martin. You have a Brandon Thomas. Who's also run with a physical press. Then you have kind of your slasher guys like Kylan Watkins, who we all know. Guys who can break the long runs as well. Kylan made a great short down run last practice, where he just kind of stuck it up in there. So he's working on that aspect of his game as well, just to kind of run with a more physical presence.
I appreciate you.
Absolutely, thank you.
Evan, go ahead.
Anthony, good to see you as always.
Good to see you.
Yeah, so you mentioned obviously just Brandon Thomas. We've been hearing his name a lot from Silverfield. So just kind of how has he improved from last year to this year? Oh man,
he is 100 light years ahead of where he was last year. Obviously last year non-football was a tough year for him. I don't know, a lot of people may or may not know his story, but he has some family issues. He has some challenges that any person would be tough to overcome. And with him being an 18-year-old, he handled it extremely well. He handled it as best as he could. And Brandon has been extremely impressive this fall camp. He had a really good spring. He's strong. He's probably the strongest back in the weight room. He did well academically, and you can tell Brandon has grown up from a maturity standpoint to be one of the go-to guys in our offense this year. So we're very excited about him. We're very excited about his career path. We're very excited about his growth. And we're even more excited to see him step on the field this season.
Does it help too with the returning guys, just because of kind of, everyone's so motivated from last year to have guys like Brandon and some of the new guys step up, that it adds a little bit more edge to them to kind of know that, to bring a little bit more push to it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this year, when you think about Memphis football and Memphis offense, you think about the running backs. You think of the success we've had in the past. And those guys see it. Those guys feel it every day. Those guys understand what it means to be a Memphis Tiger. Those guys understand what it means to be a Memphis Tiger running back. Those guys also understand that like Coach Silverfield so eloquently said earlier, that we have to take this guy by the horns and we have to get a bell cow. We have to get this guy that's going to establish himself as not so much as the premier guy, but as the guy that we can kind of focus on and whatnot. But everybody has a role. And I think everybody right now, they have done a great job of pushing each other. One of the greatest Bible verses is iron as sharp as iron. And that is very true when it comes to the running back position this year. Because you do have a lot of guys. You have a lot of quality guys. And it's hard to get reps, and it's only one football. But those guys do a really good job of not only pushing themselves, but also pushing each other as well.
Brian, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, with the success that the running backs have had going into the NFL, I imagine that makes your life a lot easier out in the recruiting world. If you could talk about that and just local recruiting, how's it changed over the years from when you were a high school coach, you know, Memphis going into your high school trying to recruit kids to now? If you could talk about that, please.
Yeah, obviously having those guys in the NFL is a great tribute to them. And it's a great tribute to the University of Memphis, and it's a great tribute to the offensive success that we've had over the past couple of years. So when we turn the TV on Sundays and Monday nights, of course, your heart just smiles for those guys that are playing at the next level. And the recruits see that, and the recruits understand that it's a great thing to play here at the University of Memphis. As far as the recruiting standpoint, I think Memphis is a national brand. I think we can compete against anybody in the country, and we've shown that, we've proven that. And local recruiting has gotten better over the last couple of years because guys see that we can do this thing right here at home. You know, and they look at guys like a Tony Pollard, look at guys like a Derek Henderson, who's right down the street from South Panola, and look at guys like Jannard Avery and all those other guys that's just really, really close in proximity. You can see that the high school coaches is very near and dear to my heart. So when we walk into those schools, we want to build those great relationships day-to-day basis. I'm probably writing 15 handwritten letters a day to high school coaches because I understand the importance of their job. I was a high school coach, you know, and I'm still a high school coach at heart. And just to get out in front of it, you have a lot of coaches on our staff that was a high school coach. Coach Silverfield was a high school coach at one point in time, believe it or not, you know. So we have a heart for high school coach. We have a heart for people. We have a heart for passion. And it's not hard to sell Memphis because we don't have to sell Memphis. We just have to talk about Memphis, talk about the city, talk about our academics, talk about our university, and then we talk about our football and the facilities that we have. Is second to none, you know. So that's a great question. We are having great success in the recruiting trail, and we're very excited about that.
All right, wrap us up, Evan.
All right. Last thing for me, Anthony, is just kind of with the motivation for these guys. Is there something you guys have like to kind of motivate these guys from last year? Is it kind of like something to say, hey, you know, this is here, this is our goal? Like, is there any kind of like motivation from losing last year to say, hey, we definitely know, you know, this year's going to be totally different?
Yeah, we have to get better. You know, that's the one word that I preach every single day. Is to get better. We don't really focus on last year in the past. You know, we've had some good games. We had some good games where the stat numbers didn't go in our favor. You know, most important for our guys, we want to win. We want to put the team over me. You know, and we have certain guys in the room. We have a lot of guys in the room that truly believes in that. I think you guys are about to talk to who I think is our room position leader in Kylan Watkins, and he's a great example of that. You know, and you have other guys like a Weaver, like a Asa Martin, Rodriguez Clark, Brandon Thomas, Darius Coffey has had a great camp. So those guys understand the numbers part of it. But we don't really look at numbers. We want to look at production. And obviously we have to be more productive. We have to break the long runs. And it's tough for those guys. They have to understand that they are not Derek Henderson. They are not Kenny Gainwell. They are not Antonio Gibson. You know, I think I read a stat the other day that said 1% chance of college guys making the NFL. And it might be a little higher, I don't know. But we had 5 guys in that room at one time that's on NFL roster. So that's the expectation that they're going out with. So I tell them every day, they are not them. They just have to go out and they have to produce to the best of their capability, and things will work out.
Before you go, Kylan, you mentioned him as a leader. We're going to talk to him. What has he done differently? Is it just because he's the veteran of this group? Like, how has he become kind of that voice in this room?
Well, he's a quiet kid, so I don't know if I use the word voice, but his actions speak louder than anything he'll ever say. He added some weight, so he looks great. I think he's about 190 pounds now, if I'm not mistaken. So Coach Franklin and his staff did a really good job of putting good weight on him. He looks faster. He looks explosive. We all know what he did last year. He made some really good plays for us last year. His first year, I think in 2019, he made some explosive plays. And I remember him torching me when I was in high school when he was at Whitehaven and Cordova, you know. So, but I think you're gonna see that from him. He's really focused on that versatile running back role, like a Tony Pollard, Kenny Gainwell, Antonio Gibson, of being able to be a dual threat guy to run the ball in the backfield and also be able to catch the ball. And he's probably one of the smartest kids inside of our program. He just graduated recently back in the spring and decided to come back for another year. And if you had 1,000 kids like Kylan Watkins, America would be a much better place, because that's a kid who does it the right way on and off the football field.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right, that's it.
All right. We'll start off with Kylan answering just how camp's been going so far, and then we'll open up to questions.
Camp's been going. It's been going really good, because this is a very interesting camp. Seeing that we had COVID last year, so we really didn't have a fall camp, and just see it's a lot of new faces here, and just see a lot of new guys just put in different places. Like Gabe Rogers, he's a receiver right now, and he's been performing well. We got Coffee, he's at a fullback now, and we just got a different room at running back. So just battling out there with my brothers, the running backs, and just seeing the receivers, try to improve daily with a lot of guys going. And it's been a very interesting fall camp, and I really can't wait for the season to start.
Go ahead, Evan.
Kylan, good to see you. And as Coach Jones mentioned, you do definitely look bigger than the last time we saw you. So the weight room's been helping, it seems like. So Coach Jones was just telling us about just kind of how you guys are motivated from last year. And obviously this is a new year, but you guys have that motivation. So what's it been like for you guys to kind of just try to put that behind you, or use it to be different this year in terms of just kind of improving a little bit?
That's pretty much the only motivation that we needed this season, because last year we heard it all about the guys. We're not being good, we're not living up to the expectations. So we think about it, but like we're really just straightforward. We have tunnel vision, so we're really just trying to go out there and do the best we can, because it's hard living up to those expectations, but I feel like a lot of guys in our room are capable of doing that.
And is it fun kind of seeing some of the guys kind of take that challenge? Like we just heard about Brandon Thomas stepping up a little bit. So is it for you guys, is it cool to just see, hey, everyone kind of stepping up and bringing that different level of motivation?
Yeah, we actually needed that competition, because if Brandon he ended up breaking a run, I know Drake and Quay and Asa, I know they're gonna want to go break a run. So that competition really it makes us better a lot in a lot of different ways. And it also pushes me to the max, because I know I'm one of the oldest guys in the room, and I really have to lead by example.
All right, we'll go to Frank and then Brian.
Hey, Keelan, how's it going?
Going good.
I was talking to Coach a second ago about the guys. You guys have versatility in the number of guys you have in the locker room. How does that help you guys keep defenses on their toes, knowing that you guys do different things to the best of your ability in different ways?
I feel like that. It really surprises some defenses, because me and myself and other running backs, we can go out wide and line up against DBs and be really effective on them. So just being able to run routes, block, and run the ball, like we're natural running backs, I feel like they keep defenses on their high heels.
I mean, how important do you think being a running back who can also be in the passing game, how important do you think is that for your game?
I feel like that increases my role. So I feel like that's a really big, important part of my game, just being able to do both of those, which makes me, it makes me play the best of my ability on the field, and being able to play actually, because it's not too many guys that can do it. I'm not bragging, but it's a really hard job just being able to run routes and actually run and pass block. So
Well, I appreciate you.
thank you.
Brian?
If you could talk about what have you seen from the defense so far this camp, and compare it to last year at this point, how are they doing in your mind?
I feel like they're doing a phenomenal job, because we have a lot of guys that came back, a lot of seniors, and I know they lead by example. They lead great by example. Then I feel like they're pretty close than last year. They weren't as close, but like this year, it feels like those guys are really gelling together, and they're all on the same page.
If you take a look at the linebackers, who's the hardest hitting linebacker, and who's hit you the hardest?
I would probably say JJ. JJ, when I first got here in like 2018, I had like a speed sweep on scout team, and JJ came out of nowhere and made me do like a front flip. So it's probably the hardest I ever got hit.
I appreciate it.
All right, last one for Evan.
Kylan, two things. One, we saw you got nominated for the Campbell Award, I believe, and you saw Brady won that last year. So for you, just what's the pride you take in just being, part of the group, I believe, that's nominated for that award?
I know that it's a very prestigious award, and for Brady White, to win it, I just know, like, I have to, do my best and try to, compete against other guys and do my best to win. But I feel I'm very humbled by the award, just being nominated by it.
Cool. And then last thing for me, just what do you think is the biggest difference between the group last year and this running back group this year, besides obviously being 2020 and 2021?
And one word, I can just say maturity. Everybody has matured in last year.
All right. Thank you, Kylan. Thanks, everybody.
Thank y'all.